So jump right into it. 5 minutes goes by fast. Last week, the Department of Justice made several important announcements in support of the administration's new environmental justice enforcement strategy, and it certainly was welcome news. Part of that effort is one that I've been pushing for the department to do, which is to create a dedicated environmental justice office within the Department of Justice to better hold polluters accountable and to support historically marginalized communities, as Senator Markey has just been discussing. I was also pleased to see that the Department of Justice finally issued an interim final rule to restore the use of supplemental environmental projects, also known as SEPs, in certain settlements. Now, this is an important tool because SEPs serve as an essential environmental justice function. They provide tangible, real world projects in the low income communities, communities of color, in many cases, who would otherwise be forced to deal with the pollution that's left behind by bad actors on their own. The restoration of SEPs is just one tool that we have in the toolbox. It's great to have it back, and we need more to correct injustices in overburdened communities. So, with that being said, my question, Chair Mallory, is can you talk about other tools in the toolbox to invest in historically marginalized communities and what the council is doing to help right these historical wrongs?
So yes, Senator, thank you for that question. And yes, environmental justice is obviously central to the work that we are doing. I can talk about several of the steps that we've already taken. But the underlying message as to all of the work we're doing is just trying to make sure that all communities get the benefit of the environmental protection network ecosystem that exists in this country, that everybody has the benefit of clean air, clean water, and a livable community. And so the president's direction to us has been focused on getting the voices in the White House so that we know what people are thinking, and we're doing that through the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council. We're also doing that in every time that I go out and visit a community, I make a point to ensure that I'm meeting local representatives from different environmental justice organizations who can talk to me specifically about what they are experiencing and how they see the work that CEQ and the White House is doing and can be more helpful. So that's a very important tool. I think other agencies are doing similar things. If you are tracking any of the work that the Department of Energy or EPA or the Department of Transportation are doing, they are regularly interacting with the communities who are affected by their programs to find out how those communities are both feeling what the administration is doing and planning, but also how we as an administration can be helpful in ensuring that the work that we are doing actually has a positive benefit for everyone. And so that's a very important mechanism that we're using. And then I think within the federal government itself, the Environmental Justice, the White House Interagency Council is a really important mechanism for making sure that we all know what agencies are doing and can both use the good examples of individual agencies to encourage and inspire work around the federal family, but also to make sure that everybody is aware of how we're taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented by the bipartisan infrastructure law as an example, how we're taking advantage of that opportunity to make sure that good benefits are reached all American people. So those are the mechanisms that we're using.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, with the minute I have left, I do have a follow-up question on this topic, but I will submit in writing questions as it pertains to the America the Beautiful framework and questions about inclusiveness, what we're doing to ensure input from a variety of stakeholders, questions as it pertains to PFAS cleanup that's been brought up earlier in the hearing, and federal procurement opportunities to advance an environmental justice agenda as well. But the one specific in my time remaining, talking about additional tools in the toolbox. When somebody's lost or going somewhere they've never been before, we need one of two things: good directions or a map. And I put it simply there because in the state of California, the state has led when it comes to mapping tools for environmental justice with its tool known as Cal EnviroScreen. It's identifying how California communities by census tract are disproportionately burdened by and vulnerable to multiple sources of pollution. So I think it's a great model for something that we can and understand we're in development as a federal tool at the national level. Chair Mallory, can you just briefly describe how the council can help implement a climate and economic justice screening tool?
Thank you for the question. And what I would say to that quickly is just that when we were developing our own tool, we very much recognized that California and New York and several other states have their own tools that are in use. And we collaborated with folks who were involved in those processes to both learn what the positive benefits we could take and sort of scale to a national level, but also some of the challenges that they've faced and how that might affect federal programs. So that is the work that has been done in California as in other states is very much front of mind on folks as they were developing the tool.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.